Don't worry, we'll resume non-Tzeentch, non-Cathay, non-Kislev Warriors of Chaos Beastmen gameplay soon, but one more replay to show you guys, once again, against Lenorm. Here he's taking Khorne against Tzeentch, obviously. This is from a session we did where we fought some Monogods land battles against Tzeentch, which is pretty fun and interesting. I've got the Cultist here for some Wand of Whimsy tech, which means, of course, he has got the spells. And once again, the Sorcerer Lord is just here for spawns. We've got the summon of the horrors as well. And then, of course, Lore of Fire with Wand of Whimsy and Kindle Flame. To back that up, got some blues here. Got, 4 blues. Some Marauders and Forsaken as a front line. 3 Forsaken, 2 Marauders. Spawn of Tzeentch, and the Shrieking Sky Rays as for Khorne. Valkia the Bloody up in the sky. He's got 3 Minotaurs, great weapons. Definitely a very solid choice for getting into melee. He's also got some Khorne Knights and Blood Crushers even over on the far side with some Warriors of Khorne and Marauders of Khorne. So quite a bit of melee power, as you would expect from Khorne, obviously. Mutalith Vortex Beast is going to kind of early charge, try and line break a little bit here. I am promptly going to forget about it, though, and Lenorm does a great job bringing in his Minotaurs, even if a few of them get sent flying. Demon Shield also on Valkia the Bloody, and we do see that disoriented contact effect coming into play a little bit there. But yeah, Mutalith definitely taking some fairly serious damage, maybe a little bit of friendly fire from those blues as well. Meanwhile, on the opposite flank, I'm managing to defend okay. We've got Forsaken and Blues doing a ton of damage to these Minotaurs. Shrieking Sky Rays also trying to defend, and the Spawns using their mass to block up the Knights and the Blood Crushers of Khorne here. A lot of high power, high mobility units trying to break my flank, and eventually they'll kind of just bypass there, which is definitely the right call, but eventually we do manage to disengage the Mutalith Vortex Beast into the back line. Valkia continues to pursue. I'm going to pop that Cascading Fire Close, go up to 59 melee defense, 550 weapon strength. Still having a really hard time, though, against Valkia, and the Sorcerer Lord, of course, being on foot, is quite slow. Eventually he does catch up to make this a little 2v1 engagement. Should go much better for me. And just the fact that I was able to recover this Mutalith is quite nice. Likewise, if we check the area of effect, yeah, it doesn't look like it's actually hitting any of the units in that frontline engagement, which is a little bit unfortunate for me. Likewise, the Cultist also taking pretty significant damage in a surround there from Minotaurs as he kind of just eats it there. But over on the opposite side, Spawn of Tzeentch doing a great job holding the line, being able to push back some of that mobility. The Shrieking Sky Rays also haven't really been targeted directly too much by the Khorne Knights so far. They've been a nuisance and just kind of picking away some free HP here and there. Valkia also gets pretty severely punished for her attempt at finishing the Mutalith Vortex Beast. She's not able to quite get the job done, and the Mutalith continues to fight on. Blood Crushers move in. Knights of Khorne are also moving in. I'm going to reinforce with the Sky Rays and try and throw some blue fire in here as well from the blues, of course. Little bombardment, army ability. Try and hit those Minotaurs. It doesn't look like it actually made contact on them, unfortunately. And it does look like the Mutalith Vortex Beast, despite another Cascading Fire Cloak, does falter and rout there. So not a great situation for me to be in, obviously. It didn't quite get the value that I needed to back. It was even still pretty close to paying for itself, which is pretty good on my part. But I do still have the Spawn summons available for my Lord here, I believe. Yeah, and the Spawn of Tzeentch also reinforcing. Minotaurs are getting quite low, so despite things looking pretty grim, I'm actually not feeling like this is completely out of my reach yet. So we're going to pull up that Spawn summon there and try and stabilize things somewhat. I've also got the summon from the Cultist, which has not quite been deployed yet. The Cultist himself is getting very low, but I feel if I can finish off the Minotaurs, then I really just have to manage Valkia and these Knights, which is certainly not going to be easy, but with the Minotaurs hopefully off the field, it will be much easier. The Spawns are doing a great job trading into that. Warriors of Khorne with that Sundered Armor as well, down to 80, are going to be getting hit a lot harder by the Spawn. A little bit of a fireball there, trying to side shot through a unit. Pretty much just clean misses, which is fine. But at least we're getting procs of that Wand of Whimsy to juice up the melee attack and weapon strength of these Spawns. Here comes the blue summon, or the pink summon, rather, as well. Try and provide a little bit of more ranged pressure to keep up on Valkia. And the spawns in Forsaken, I'm just really trying to do as much damage as possible while this spawn summon is still alive. But the Khorne guys going to be quite tough, obviously. They are starting to have some leadership issues, but here, Minotaur's getting routed again. Pinks are able to fire in, having some line of sight issues. They kind of run into melee a little bit there, but hopefully we'll be able to start to shatter some of those units. The Knights are calling out in the distance, though. Lenorm also wisely disengages these Minotaurs as the summoned Tzeentch spawn start to... Well, they're gone already. They're not starting to. They are gone in terms of their summon timer, so now it's just the spawns, and at this point, it's feeling pretty hopeless. Likewise, the pink horror summon also doesn't have too much longer left, so let's see. Valkia is going to pull up, try and snipe the caster, perhaps. Throw a little fireball on her. Does make some contact. Pink's also pretty much 100% miss on that volley, so that's fine. And yeah, overextending with these spawns is not great. I need them to be fighting on top of these blues as much as possible. Not that it would have mattered a whole lot. I mean, it's two, you know, like 1,500 point Khorne plus Khorne units that then move in to just butcher the last of these poor spawns. But yeah, that's going to be it for my build. There's really no chance of me coming back to win this. But it was definitely an interesting one. I do feel like if I hadn't taken quite so much early damage on that Mutolith Vortex Beast, I definitely would have had the Mortis Strain to finish off like all these very tattered infantry in the endgame. The Knights of Khorne also I don't think would have been able to get the job done. Really, I mean, these remaining Minotaurs and Valkia herself would still be the greatest threats for sure. But yeah, me letting my build down this time by getting a little sloppy on the micro, but it's just Khorne things, you know, you can't slip up too long. Khorne's ability to deal high burst in melee is one of the best in the game, obviously, so not surprising that momentary lapse in micro for me would ultimately end up costing me the game, although certainly I feel like, yeah, I was almost able to salvage the situation, and again, the Mutolith comes within 50 points of paying for itself, which is pretty nice. Spawns also do a great job here. Forsaken, reasonably decent in this matchup. They can kind of get run over as evidenced in this matchup. Blues also, again, cost-effective as ever. I mean, everyone knows that. It's not really news. But, yeah, I mean, army damage value-wise, a lot of things end up doing reasonably well. I do wish I would have brought Burning Head, though, to help me maybe clear out some of these Marauders as well, and just provide, you know, leadership debuffs, help route maybe these Minotaurs a little bit faster. I don't know, maybe Piercing Bolts of Burning would have been good as well, but then you don't get as many procs with the Kindle Flame. Hard to say, really, but I don't think I necessarily use the Cultist to best effect, but still ends up being reasonably close. Just not quite enough out of my power units due to me misusing them, which is fine. It happens. Credit to Lenorm for playing it very well, kind of prioritizing the right targets that he needs to take out, and mostly taking pretty smart engagements. Minotaurs all do a great job. Love to see the Knights also perform reasonably well. Blood Crushers are an interesting choice. Not necessarily the best, I don't think. I think probably Khorne Knights are just strictly better right now, but you guys feel free to debate that in the comments down below. It's definitely a fun one, so hopefully you enjoyed that. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.